One of my clients, Jack, has closed his 25th landlord deal in 6 months of starting his Airbnb management business. Still in his 9 to 5, no prior experience in property, and no big network of landlords that he started with. And when I asked him what changed between deal 1 and deal 25, he said something that stuck with me. He said, I stopped trying to convince landlords and started just finding the right landlords who were suited to the business that I was building. That's it. That's the whole game, because there's a specific type of landlord out there right now who's genuinely desperate for what you're offering, and they've got an asset, it's underperforming, and they're getting squeezed by rising mortgage rates, and they've had nightmare tenants. They've heard about Airbnb, but they don't know how to run it, and frankly, they don't want to. That landlord will say yes to you on your first or second call with them, even if you're brand new, even if you've never managed a property in your life, but you have to know what to say to them. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly who your ideal landlord is, what they look like, what they're going through, where to find them, and why they'll say yes to you even if you've never done this before. Before I get into it, if you want this broken down even further, I've put together a free 7-day email series that walks you through all this process of starting your Airbnb business from scratch. If you want that, go over to my Instagram and DM me the word email and I will send it right over to you. So let's get into it. Okay, so who is your ideal landlord here? Let's paint that picture a little bit more. The landlord you're looking for is not a property mogul or a professional investor. They're an everyday person who bought a property as an investment. They have a mortgage on it, and that mortgage is the source of their stress. They're not a full-time landlord often. They have a job, a life, and other things going on. So managing a property is often a side responsibility for them. They never fully signed up for it. There are broadly 3 types of landlords that you're going to encounter when you're trying to find some deals for your business. The first type I like to call the accidental landlord. So they inherited a property or moved in with a partner and kept their old flat, never really planned to be a landlord. It just kind of happened and has probably been renting it out long term for years, barely breaking even, doesn't know what Airbnb could do for them, and nobody's ever shown it to them. And this is often your easiest win. The second type is what I call the struggling investor. So they bought the property intentionally as an investment, but the rising interest rates have eaten into their margins, and the numbers that made sense back in 2016 don't make sense as much anymore, and they want a better solution. They just don't know what it is yet. And this person has urgency. They're already in pain and they want something like what you can provide them. The third type I like to call the burnt landlord. So they've had a nightmare tenant experience, they get late payments, they've had damage in their property, they've had to go through an eviction process, and they've just kind of lost faith in the long-term rental market entirely, and they're kind of open to anything that removes tenant risk from their life. This person will say yes to you faster than anyone else. Now, what do all 3 of those have in common? They own a property that isn't working as hard as it should, they are time poor, and they don't want to manage it themselves. Yes, they've heard of Airbnb, but they think it's complicated and risky and not for them, and they need someone they can trust to take this headache away from them. So let's get specific on who this person really is. Like, they're definitely above 35 years old. They might own 1 to 3 properties. Not a portfolio landlord yet, although if you do get those portfolio landlords, they're amazing. They might live overseas and their property might be back in the UK, and maybe they have a professional background, but they're not a full-time property person. The current situation with their property is they're either renting it out long-term to a tenant and barely making any profit at all, or the property is sitting empty between tenants, void periods. Or they've tried Airbnb themselves and got burnt out from managing it. They're possibly using a letting agent who is under delivering and overcharging. Most landlords have had at least one bad experience with a letting agent, because letting agents can often overpromise and underdeliver, and this is a universal landlord complaint, no offense to all the agents out there. But they take a fee regardless of the performance. So this is kind of an angle you can come in at, as they often won't know that you exist as an alternative to what a letting agent is. Often what they'll have in their mind about Airbnb is that it's for people who want strangers in their home, and I'll have to deal with shitty guests all the time, and what if somebody trashes my place and I don't have time to manage all the check-ins? And every single one of these objections and concerns is exactly what your service handles for them. And in terms of what you might look for in their property, you might look for a property that has proximity to a city or a town. Maybe it's near transport links within at least 10-15 minutes walk. Obviously 1, 2, and 3 beds are going to be bigger with more revenue potential, but you want to maybe ideally go for a modern build that has somewhat less maintenance risk, and maybe if it's already furnished, great, there's less of a staging process to do there as well. Parking is huge, outside space or balcony or garden, like these things are really good to paint a full picture of a property when you're doing photograph day. And look, if you're watching this and you don't really want to figure it out all alone, I do have a one-to-one mentoring program. It's pretty bespoke. I let a certain amount of people in each month. So if you want to apply to be a part of that, DM me the word landlord over on Instagram. My link is below in the description, and I will send you some details before we take it further. So let's think more about that landlord. What actually scares them and what drives their decision? Well, if you think about the fact that this is an investment, the main thing that's going to drive their decision is money. And they're particularly scared of void periods. An empty property sat there is their worst nightmare. Their mortgage still has to go out, their bills still have to be paid, and nothing's coming in, and every week the property sits empty. That is exactly what your service is eliminating. You're taking care of the marketing, you're making sure that the property's booked and having year-round occupancy. Second fear is usually around bad people being in the property. This is the one that keeps landlords up at night. Tenants who don't pay, damage the property, and refuse to leave. That eviction process, especially in the UK where all my properties are, is slow, expensive, and emotionally draining. And some landlords have spent thousands in legal fees just to get their property back off some tenants. And now guests are not tenants. They're completely different from a legal perspective. They cannot overstay. If they overstay, we just charge them. Another fear they have in the back of their head is rising mortgage rates. So a landlord who was making £300 per month profit in 2016 might be breaking even or even losing money now. Like, the long-term rental market hasn't kept pace with rate increases, and they're watching their investment become a liability. And the short-term rental market income they will get can be 2 or 3x the profit on the exact same property. And a lot of them are afraid that they're going to have to sell. For some landlords, the numbers have gotten so bad that the selling feels like the only option. And this is a landlord in genuine crisis, and your service could be the thing that saves their investment from having to be sold. These landlords in particular have the highest urgency and will move the fastest. I think the key thing to remember here about the fear they're experiencing is you're not selling Airbnb management to a landlord, you're selling the removal of their specific fear and their specific pain. The landlord who's terrified by void periods needs to see your revenue projections. The landlord who's been burnt by tenants needs to see how your guest management and screening works. Match your pitch to their pain and don't just do a generic script. So if you think about why is this a no-brainer for the right landlord? Like, number one, they're going to get a higher rental yield. On the short let market, we're charging per night instead of per month, which dramatically increases the overall monthly income that a property gets. So if you imagine a property doing £3,000 a month in the long term, that could earn £4,500 to £5,000 on the short term. I have a property back in the UK, and in just 1 month, we collected £9,000 for a 1-bedroom property. The second thing that makes this a no-brainer for them is there are no more void periods. Your active marketing across multiple platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, and the corporate suppliers that you can partner with, their properties are never going to be sitting there just waiting for a tenant. And even in quieter months in the Christmas, the goal is 80+% occupancy year round. Not 100% because that means you're pricing too low, but consistently high across the year. The third thing that makes it a no-brainer is it's hands off for them. The guest communication, the pricing, the cleaning coordination, the maintenance, all that is handled by you and eventually your VAs when you hire VAs. And that is not something that the landlord has to touch. Everything happens and is resolved without their involvement. The landlord's only job is to check their bank account on the 10th of the following month and see how much we paid them. The fourth thing that makes it a no-brainer is no tenant risk. Guests have literally no legal rights compared to a tenant. If a guest causes a problem, we take payment from them. There's no eviction process like there is with tenants. There's no legal nightmares. This alone is worth the conversation for so many landlords who have been burnt before like this. The fifth and final thing is the property is actually better maintained. Regular professional cleans were in the property every single week. Issues are spotted immediately and not left for months like with the long-term tenants that would stay there. And the property stays in better condition long-term, and the landlords who've had long-term tenants are often shocked at the state and the condition of their property when they get it back off a long-term tenant. And another thing that makes this a no-brainer for them is the landlord can still use the property themselves during low occupancy periods. They can just give us a few weeks notice and book the property themselves. We just block off the calendar so they can come back and stay in their home. So in summary, you're not asking a landlord to take a big risk. You're offering them a better version of what they already have access to. More money, less hassle, no tenant risk, and the property's just looked after. So the only landlords who say no are the ones who don't understand it yet, or they're just the wrong client. And to give you an idea of how this actually developed for me, I've had deals happen when I went to a networking event, and I've maintained contact with people, and referrals came from that months later. The deals didn't necessarily happen at the events, they just happened because we stayed in touch. I've had plenty of others come from letting agents relationships which turned into multiple deals. I've had a landlord come on as a client who was actually a guest staying at one of the Airbnbs, and not only that, but that same landlord went on to refer multiple other landlords to me as well, on top of going to places like Gumtree where if you know who you're looking for, you can find the right landlords. And in addition to that, meta ads is the most scalable way, if you're doing the right targeting, to speak to the right landlords who are actively looking for this. And the pattern across all of these deals is that none of them came from blasting every landlord in existence. Each one of these came from me just having conversations with people, telling them about my service and telling them what types of landlords that I'm trying to work with. This is why understanding your customers' pains before you start to pitch is so important for when you're going out into the field. And think about the compounding effect I have just described about my deals. My first deal led to my second deal with the same landlord, the second deal, the second landlord referred the third landlord, and an agent introduced me to multiple clients. Like, you don't need 50 landlords, you just need 3, 4, or 5 really good ones, and then they will keep referring you more business. Okay, so where do you actually find these landlords? So the top 5 channels we've named and briefly discussed there is your existing network. So this is the most underrated starting point. Like, people you know will refer you landlords. All you have to do is reach out and let them know you're starting the business. Letting agents are another great source of landlords. They know tons and tons of them, and you can help them make money on deals they wouldn't have otherwise made. Then you've got other colder channels, like I mentioned, like Gumtree in the UK, where you can contact landlords who are advertising on the long let market and showcase to them what they can earn on the short let market. You've also heard me mention the success I've had in networking events of going and having conversations with people who could either become a client or refer me a client. And then last but not least, meta ads is paid targeting, since you already know exactly who you're looking to target, and we can scale that right up as you get bigger and bigger. The one thing to remember about all 5 of these channels is that they all work better when you know exactly who you're looking for and what problems you can solve for that person. This is why we just spent the last few minutes talking about exactly who that person is, because now when you walk into a room or a networking event, you know exactly how to speak to the problems that a lot of landlords are actually facing. And even if you don't have any clients now and this is your very first deal, the way that you position it is just by sharing that you have put a lot of effort and time into starting this business. You've built out your cleaning team and your maintenance team. You've learned the software and the subscriptions and the infrastructure of the business. Maybe you've worked with a mentor and you're leveraging the experience of that mentor and sharing that you are ready to accept your very first client now. Once you combine that level of authority with the story that you're telling about why you want to maybe leave your job, why you're building this business in the first place, the emotional stuff that will make people connect with you, those two things paired together will make the landlord more than comfortable to want to do business with you. So now you know who your landlord is, what they are going through, what scares them, and why your service is the obvious answer for the right person. That's more clarity than most have after months of trying to figure this out. And if you want to take this from knowing it to actually doing it, that's what I'm here for. And my one-to-one mentorship is built around that one thing, getting you from 0 to your first, or maybe from your 5th to your 20th property, and then stacking them over and over again from there. Everything that I've learned and done to build my own business, the systems, the scripts, the frameworks, you get all of it. So if you want to have a bit more of a conversation about that, just DM me the word landlord on Instagram. If you want to book a call and apply to work with me, then if you want to just get the email sequence I mentioned earlier, you can DM me the word email and I'll send you that 7-day free email course, and I will see you on the next video.